guys, the Curious Owl here, and today I am going to be reviewing the novel Empress Unveiled by Jenna Morland. This was a book that I was sent to by OfTomes Publishing, so thank you to OfTomes Publishing for sending me this copy of the second to last debut of 2018 for OfTomes Publishing. So this book is essentially what I would consider an urban fantasy dealing with fairies, which is really interesting because I don't see many fairy novels anymore, especially that deal with urban fantasy. This book centers around a girl named Swayze, who unfortunately from the very beginning of the story you learn is actually dying. Like, she is dying more and more every second that passes, and it's incredibly painful to read about because there's a lot of talk about the inevitability of death and how she's kind of scared of it, but also how she's not, and how she's really just kind of accepted the fact that she's going to die. But then she witnesses this very strange event going on the docks of the town that she lives in, where it looks like 3 people are about to be executed. And when she sees that, she screams and finally things stop. And from that comes a strange turn of events where she starts to actually become healthier. And she's not sure as to why until she finds out that these people that she ended up saving are basically fairies who know who she is, say that she is the daughter of a king that ruled this place called Empress, and wants to take her back to Empress so that she can either help save the kingdom that is being run by this tyrant, and or bring her to a state where she is completely healthy and can live her life as a human being in the town that she lives in now, called Rowan. The thing that I really liked about this book is, like I said, the talk of the inevitability of death, and Swayze is a character who I think is incredibly admirable because she accepts the fact that she's dying, and she also is scared of dying. Like, she knows she's going to die, but she's also scared of it, and sometimes it's not, because she accepts the fact that she's going to be dying. Because it's something that I think we don't really talk about a lot is, the idea of dying and death and self, because everyone is really nervous about it because people don't know really what happens after death and what kind of is entailed as you die, and see the idea of life flashing before your eyes is something that you don't understand until it's happening to you. And Swayze, I think, is just such a strong character despite the fact that she's going through so much, that it made me more sympathetic and empathetic towards her. Basically, when I first started reading the book, within the first 20 pages or so, I had already been tearing up quite a bit with some of the things that Swayze had said regarding death and the fact that she was dying, and some of the things that she kind of had recognized because she realized she only had a couple months to live, basically, and kind of her just, taking things in and understanding how happy she is with the life she's lived, and some things that she may regret but she can't change because it was out of her control. And I just think it's a really interesting conversation to bring up is, the idea of death and dying, and how hard it is for some people to accept the fact that they're going to die, but then there are some people who can't accept the fact that they're going to die and are still scared of it, as we all should be. I also really enjoyed the family dynamic that was between Swayze and her mother, because they have a very strange relationship. Swayze's mother, Linda, is someone who is not your typical mom. She doesn't have Swayze call her mom. They act more like they're best friends. But Swayze's mom is still heavily involved with her life. She's a single mom who's raised Swayze on her own and has dealt with everything that Swayze has gone through with her sicknesses and with being in the hospital several times and going through chemotherapy and all kinds of other surgeries and things of that nature, and she's still incredibly present. As much as she is the best friend character, she really is present in her daughter's life and wants to not only be her best friend, but tries to be her mom too. And I see that a lot as I went through the story, where Swayze's mom really started to change to become more of the mom figure than the best friend, and I really appreciated that, because in YA contemporary stuff especially, the parents are either non-existent, or they are in and out of the kid's life, or you only see them in passing and you don't really see them at all in the story. And with this YA urban fantasy, we see a mom that is not only present, but is active in the child's life, and that's incredibly important because not every teenager has an absent parent or set of parents. Some just have single moms and dads that are just trying to, provide for their kid, and they're trying to help them through whatever it is that they're going through. The thing, though, that really did not sit well with me with this book was the love triangle and the insta-love that was within the story. I've noticed that OfTomes tends to go for stories that involve some kind of insta-love. I've seen it with a lot of the books that I've read this year specifically, and although it's not a bad thing, insta-love is not my favorite trope, so I'm not really ever going to find it truly workable, except in some very small cases. But the love triangle of the story was just something I've seen so many times, where you have the main character falling in love with the best friend and a guy that she's never met before, who's telling her all these things that she doesn't know before, and she falls in love with him because she doesn't know who he is, and there's some strange connection between the two of them. It's just a love triangle I've seen so many times that I'm just so tired of it. It gets really tired and stale and overused. Despite that, though, I really did like the guys by themselves for different reasons. Dalen, not so much, because I kind of felt like he was really shady throughout most of the story, but still, you know, I kind of liked him enough to where I continued to read the story and was interested in the relationship between him and Swayze. But overall, the love triangle was just not something I was super interested in. I'm just tired of the same love triangle over and over again, to be honest. Despite that, though, like I said, I really enjoyed this novel for what it was. I'm interested to see what Jenna Morland has coming up later on with more of her writing. And I gave this book a 4 out of 5 stars because I really did enjoy it, even if I didn't care so much for the love story that was going on within it. But I'm not going to like every love triangle or romantic relationship that's involved in a story. It's just not going to happen. I'm not going to like every single one of them, and this one I just didn't. So that's just my 2 cents. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you guys for today. So thank you guys so much for joining me in this review of Empress Unveiled. If you guys would like to read the novel yourself, I will leave a link down in the description below for you guys to go buy it. It is 99 cents, I believe, for Kindle, and you can get it, I believe, for free on Kindle Unlimited, but I'm not sure. But you guys can figure that out when you get to the website. So if you guys, though, did enjoy this video, please do give it a big thumbs up. And if you're not already and you'd like to be, hit the button down below and subscribe to become an owlet in our flock. And I will see all of you guys in my next video. Bye, guys!